know exactly what you are thinking about AI. Is that post I saw real? Are bots taking over everyone's follower accounts? I've just started a job as a social media manager. Will I be obsolete? Is this video a deepfake? Am I real? AI has impacted everything from air travel to entertainment. But as Seth Godin, marketing extraordinaire, points out, the impact of AI is likened to that of the internet. It is completely redefining the world as we know it. And AI's impact on marketing has been huge. That's why it is more important than ever to understand the impact that AI is having on marketing, what it actually means today, and what the future looks like, so you can come out on top in this new emerging world. I'm Gina. I've spent the last 16 years building small brands and startups. I have predominantly worked in the tech industry, and I have harnessed early AI and automation to not only increase production efficiency, but also launch digital products in 20 countries globally simultaneously. And I'm here to show you how AI is changing marketing and what you need to do about it. So the comforting thing is that AI has been part of marketing for decades, and you've probably been using it yourself for longer than you imagine. What is less comforting is the acceleration of AI capabilities. This significant advancement in the last 6 to 12 months is what's having the biggest impact on marketing. And if you don't understand that impact and prepare for the future, you will get left behind. But the great news is I am here to teach you everything. I'm also going to follow up with a second video, which is going to show you exactly what AI you should be implementing as a small business, a startup, or a solopreneur, and how you should adapt, and also teach you a few hacks for using AI to grow exponentially right now. So hit that subscribe button. But firstly, what is AI? So AI stands for artificial intelligence. This is an umbrella term that we use interchangeably for anything. But let's break it down. AI is predominantly made up of machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning uses algorithms to process and analyze large data sets, identifying patterns and making predictions or decisions on that data. Whereas deep learning learns complex patterns in large and unstructured data sets that model the human brain. And the AI we're seeing is often a combination of the two. Let's take Netflix for an example, an AI powerhouse. For Netflix, machine learning and deep learning are key in content recommendations. Netflix uses machine learning to analyze your viewing history and preferences, helping to suggest new content by recognizing patterns and behaviors in users' interaction with the platform. Meanwhile, deep learning algorithms help Netflix predict what viewers might enjoy by diving deeper into patterns in large-scale datasets, factoring in elements like plot summaries, genre tags, and even viewing behavior across different devices. But none of this is new. Alan Turing actually predicted AI back in the 1950s when he proposed that computers would be able to mimic the human brain. The term AI was officially coined in the 1956 Dartmouth Conference. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, AI was solving a lot of problems. But peak performance hit in 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue defeated chess champion Garry Kasparov. This was our first real introduction to machine learning. The 2000s was more than just circle skirts and bad eyeliner for us marketers. SEO and PPC entered the chat. With the capability to target the right audience, measure our marketing effectiveness, and increase our brand visibility, all at our fingertips. A decade later, we met Siri. Hey Siri. Who was one of the earliest examples of deep learning, and whilst she may not have directly helped with our marketing, I'm here to tell you that AI has been around for decades. It didn't replace my job 20 years ago, and it's not after your job right now. I was getting on the overground last week, and I looked up and I saw an advert for Our Place pans. I took a photograph and I WhatsApped it to my husband. I then did my usual doom scroll of opening Instagram, and the very first advert on my stories was for Our Place pans with a 15% discount. Personalisation is almost instant. In my early career, it would take months and months of data gathering and understanding my audience in order to build small segments to test and learn what worked for my audience. Personalisation was a hack that we built by just having a name field in our very rudimentary email systems. AI is driving personalisation to the point of granular segmentation and micro-personalisation. It is almost immediate, and it is so well targeted that it feels like every interaction that people are having with your brand is just for them. AI has completely revolutionized not only the data that we have access to, but how that data is interpreted to improve and find access to our ideal audience. AI has completely revolutionized the way that brands can personalize their marketing and also gather and interpret data in almost real time. For small brand startups and solopreneurs, this might feel like something that's just for the bigger brands, but personalization through AI is something that you can introduce for completely free by checking out my next video. Now, this second impact that AI is having on marketing is probably the most terrifying. When I first started working, I used to have to block out half a day to write an article. Growing up on MS Paint, Photoshop was revolutionary, but it still took me 2 to 3 hours to edit a simple image. Now I can have an article in seconds, make an image from 3 lines of text, and if I really wanted to, I could upload a sample of my voice and have an entire 45-minute podcast in less than 10 minutes.
So, marketing, it's like everywhere these days, right?
Content creation is no longer for the skilled. And what that has meant is an oversaturation of output, huge varieties in quality, and some serious questions around copyright and content ownership. But it's not all bad news and terrifying circumstances. Aside from a 6-month stint at HSBC, which led to me traveling the world for a few years, I have always worked in startups and small brands and been building from the ground up. What that meant is 16 years of sacrificing my evenings and weekends, because the work never stops. When you are small, when you are doing things on a budget, when you don't have a big team, admin is never ending. AI saves me hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars every year by taking away my menial tasks or repetitive tasks and doing them for me. So whether we've realized it or not, been hugely affected or marginally annoyed and interested, AI has impacted marketing, most notably through access to data and personalization, content creation, and huge leaps in automation. Now, if you want to know how these things are actually benefiting small brands and startups, do hit subscribe and stay tuned for next week. But what does the future look like? And stick around, because after I tell you the future, I'm also going to give you the inside scoop on not being replaced by AI for startups, small brands, and solopreneurs. So the future is what we're afraid of the most, aren't we? This big hockey stick in AI capabilities, this oversaturation of content creation, this not knowing what's real or not, is what's making us scared about the future of AI and marketing. With deep learning and machine learning combining to create open source platforms that are getting more and more data and information every day, who knows what the world will look like in 10 years? But I'm here to allay those fears. I think for the most part, as small brands, startups, and solopreneurs, we really fear being rejected, replaced, or kind of redundant. Why would the world need me if I can create a logo in seconds in Kittle? Why would people want to hear from me if they can generate their own videos with just a few lines of text? By nature, we are a group of people that are creative and live by purpose. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this. We just sit in a corporate, take that lovely pay, and relax and not have stress. And I think that's what we're concerned about. We have a passion, we have a spark, and we have creativity, and we don't want that to disappear. The Boston Consulting Group has actually conducted a study with Harvard. In this, they found that when people over-rely on generative AI, the collective divergence of ideas drops by 40%. And I myself are seeing this trend. We have tried to use AI for content creation. We have tried to use different prompts, and the more we use it, the more we circle back to doing it ourselves. Content creation is a bubble. People got excited because it gave them access to something they didn't have access to before. And like many fads, this won't stick. What we'll see in the coming years is companies like Runway or Stable Diffusion using AI to support cinematically. But the day-to-day creative output will shift as we find better ways to utilize AI. We're already seeing echoes of this. This year, Coca-Cola remade the iconic advert in AI, and the reception was not great, and neither was the first round of work. Most brands, especially small brand startups and solopreneurs, will lose their edge by outsourcing or generating their content, so the return to slow content creation will come. And that's probably what you're most scared about. So now that I've addressed your fears, let's look at the future shifts for AI that you can get excited about. The future of AI is all around acceleration and active assistance. And this is super exciting for small brand startups and solopreneurs. Acceleration is where we will see an increase in productivity. This ability to program repetitive tasks such as data entry and processing, email management, document management, and filing will benefit marketers by taking away a big burden of admin time. The automation of processes such as opening a new Notion card, using Zapier to immediately create a project budget, critical path, document folder, etc., will all be based on predetermined processes. We will also have the ability to modify and translate content and updates in batch and immediately. And this overall growth and efficiency of workflows will increase productivity across marketing and claw back some of our most valuable time. And active assistance is where we will see a more involved use of AI. We will see it take over customer support services, bridge a gap for brands who don't have their own market research department. In fact, active assistance will support in reducing the skill gap for marketers. The ability to upload a 40-page contract and understand your risk or liability, or to digest a 400-page report and pull out the salient points, will increase our overall effectiveness as marketers. And the growth of AI capability also means that platforms will leverage this to improve search experiences through voice and image recognition, helping marketers optimize for new forms of search. The future of AI is all based around speeding up processes, increasing productivity, and giving additional information and assistance where we might not have that in-house skill. This, plus its amazing advances around data, will be used to enhance human creativity and output. It will provide insights and help make decision-making in real time, but all of this will support that human creativity and elevate it. It's insanely exciting. In the next 10 years, AI will become a huge support and valuable resource for anyone who can understand it properly and use it to its best advantage. What it will not replace is authentic human connection, real storytelling, a pure sense of belonging and community, and creative innovation. All the things that we are the best at. And that, my friends, means it's up to you to grow those things with your brand by subscribing to this channel. But seriously, if you've made it this far, your job probably didn't exist in your parents' age, and that is absolutely fine. Change is something that we always go through. Emerging trends, emerging tech are things that we will always have to adapt with. And those that learn and adapt will come out on top. So do subscribe. Next week, I'm going to take you through exactly how you should be using AI today and in the future to make sure your startup, your small brand, or your own venture wins.